Do you know that you have healthcare experience already? As you are looking at me, I have, you have, everybody has, but you do not know. So you actually feel like it's only when you actually render it to somebody, that's when it's actually valid. And the fourth one, you've had it, but you never knew it was an experience. You did not know it will actually be relevant, but it's a very, very huge experience. And if, for example, somewhere like Canada, when you're applying for nursing, it is something like this personal experience that they want. Yes, you've had the experience. Are you still thinking? You don't know? No, you don't know about it. You've had the experience. Yes. Anyways, please subscribe. Are you a Nigerian, Ghanaian, Cameroonian, Tanzania? Okay, I'm just, the ones I've mentioned, they are African countries. Are you from Philippines, India? Ah, God, I don't know my geography. I don't even want to know any country you're from. As long as you're not from Canada, you're not from UK, you're not from any of these first-class countries, you're just like this. As in any country they are from, any Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon, India, China, Zimbabwe, Tanzania, anywhere you're from, do you actually know that there's actually a way you can get a physical healthcare assistant, a physical healthcare assistant experience? Physical. If you guys know, in my last video, I actually posted a video how you can actually get an healthcare assistant experience via online courses. This way you just sit down in the comfort of your home or anywhere you are, you just watch these videos or read these courses and everything, and then you have your certificate right in your hand. If you've not seen this video, make sure to click the link in the description box. And why I actually came up with this online courses is because I actually noticed most of my fellow Japanians, like people that actually want to leave their country to UK to go apply, they want to pass via this UK visa routes, most of them are actually still working. Most of them are currently working. So that was why I actually sat down to actually think that, okay, let me just introduce something that will actually be easy for working class to, maybe while they are still working, trying to save money for their travel. So if you actually use the proper route, you don't need money. You don't need money to travel. I hope you know that. Yes, if you apply through a verified agent, they'll pay for your, to send your CS, will pay for your visa, even your IELTS is refundable. Your flight, some employer will pay for your flight and everything. So the only thing you just pay for is maybe your tuberculosis test, and some agencies will actually refund you too as well. So that's why I tell you, are you subscribed to this channel? So I'm making a separate video on that for you to know the total amount you are to have to just travel with. So it's not as if like you actually need one kind of big money. Just have your international passport, have your experience, your CV, deal with the correct agent. You are not spending a penny. Aside where you just go from here to come apply for your visa, and from there you exit the country. So can you see? So I've heard so many things when agents will tell you to bring $1 billion, 1 million this thing. You will not go follow better channel. Anyways, I've actually deviated. What was I saying? Okay, I'm actually, so that was why I actually came out. That was why I actually came up with that online courses. So when I now sat and I thought, and from my experience so far and everything, just doing normal survey, I still feel like some of us are actually like jobless. Not like jobless in quotes, but at least we still have a whole lot of free time for us. So that's why I came up with this physical training for healthcare experience. Mind you, this is not just for jobless people, right? Even somebody that is working can still do it. So if you know you're watching this video, you are a working class, you are jobless, you are middle, not jobless, working class, any class. In fact, if you have a very, very tight schedule, this video is for all of you, because I've written down so many points to actually fit into different categories of people. So I don't want to know how very tight your schedule is, how very busy you are, how very anything that you are, you can still get this physical experience for healthcare assistant. And you know that in my videos I've always said the minimum requirement to become an healthcare assistant in UK is nothing. Just be somebody with a good heart. But as I said in my subsequent video, and even in that first video, when you actually apply for a job with nothing, you just normally, as a normal human being, you can apply for the job and you get the healthcare assistant work. But as an employer, as a recruiter, as an agent, when they see that a fellow applicant like you has an experience in that job, has a certificate, has a physical experience, has a this, has a that, even you, if you are the recruiter, who would you go for? Will you go for the one that does not have any qualification, or you go for the one that has plenty qualification? So that's why I should tell you, it might not even be healthcare assistant. Any job you're applying to, any job you're applying for, anything, even when they say minimum requirement does not mean you have to stay in that minimum. It doesn't mean that, oh, I have the minimum, because as they even say that minimum means starting point, your 0 point, like starting point. So your own starting point is another person's minus starting point. So you just have everything. And as I told you, this program will just run for 365 days, and we have how many months left? So, but then they can actually still extend it to, but for now, just 365 days. And I told you they are recruiting from all over the world. Do you know how many people are applying? Even Nigeria alone, my country alone, I can feel the heat of people applying. Let them know Indians, let them know Filipinos, let them know other countries. So you now feel like a minimum qualification, you just sit down. You cannot get the job, my dear sister and brother. So you have to like take a step or 2 or 20 feet forward. So I have shared in my previous video. The first one is online courses. So even if you've gotten your online certificate, that one does not stop you from having a physical certificate. Because when you're writing your CV and you're telling your employer, I have an online certificate, I have a physical experience, then maybe your fellow competitors, they don't have physical experience or they don't have online experience. Which one do you think they will go for? You, of course. So it's game of competition. You know you're not writing the exam, though you will do interview. It's game of competition. For them to even shortlist you, you have to pad up your CV. I'm not saying you should lie. If you lie, they will catch you. But at least you will lie, but it will be a diplomatic lie. It will be a formal, beneficial, like close to what I did lie. Not like you did not even do it at all, or claiming that you have the experience when you don't even have it. That one is obvious lie. But maybe you have it, but you don't have it as much as that. You just use the English in a very, very diplomatic way. So even if they ask you that you said something like this, you'll be able to defend yourself, because if they catch you lying, that's like a red flag. Anyways, let's dive right into it. I talk too much. So now, today we'll be talking about physical healthcare assistant experience in your home country that you can get in your home country, Ghana, anything or whatever. Oh, it's not beauty guy. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is your home girl, Ashidemis, and of course you're watching Jackpot with Ashidemis, where I share with you immigration, travel, anything, frequently asked question, anything that might be confusion or anything. So if you watched it up to here and you actually enjoyed what you're watching, make sure to click the subscribe button. Make sure to leave a comment. Not just to watch my video, not to leave comments. I don't know if not robots to watch these videos. Now see, it was because one person left comment. Opera Sony. That's what Ginger, because I wanted to go and sleep. But the way she left that cause, like, let me make another video for my guns. So if you want to keep seeing more videos like this, it's not easy. Make your research and everything. Make sure to subscribe. And as usual, disclaimer: I am not a travel agent. I'm not a certified anything or anything. This one is just based on my personal research. So before you do anything, make sure to actually make your own personal research. Thanks. Anyways, let's get right into it. So, how you can get physical experience for healthcare assistants. You've thought about it, right? I know you know already. I have a video that is actually coming up telling you that you have some of these experiences already, but you are not aware. Do you know that you have healthcare experience already? As you are looking at me, I have, you have, everybody has, but you do not know. So you actually feel like it's only when you actually render it to somebody that's when it's actually valid. Anyways, wait for that video. So by the time I'm done with all this series, then you now know, like, I have like 5 different types of way you can actually get your healthcare assistant, and this one is not limited to, let me just use one. So the first one that I've posted now is online courses. The second one now is physical. This one, the third and the fourth one, you've had it, but you never knew it was an experience. You did not know it will actually be relevant, but it's a very, very huge experience. And if, for example, somewhere like Canada, when you're applying for nursing, it is something like this personal experience that they want. Yes, you've had the experience. Are you still thinking? You don't know? No, you don't know about it. You've had the experience. Yes. Anyways, please subscribe. The video is coming. By the time you watch the video, you'll be like, wait, are you joking? You've had the experience. Everybody have had the experience, but you never talk like it's something you feel like. Anyways, so that's why I'm bringing that one last, because I feel like everybody has that experience, but you do not just think it. So let's do the one that you don't have already. You get? Anyways, I've said anyways how many times? How many times? So before we talk about how you can actually get your physical healthcare assistant experience in your home country, any home country, first of all, you have to understand the basic and the meaning of healthcare assistant. In a medical setting, in a clinical setting, yeah, medical setting, we have doctors, we have nurses, we have surgeons, we have surgeons, we have surgeons, healthcare assistants, carers, supporters, workers, and everything. So by leaving all those ones, we're talking about healthcare assistant itself. I know most of you are just hearing this healthcare assistant and you don't even know what it is. The only thing in your mind is you just want to leave your country via this route. I don't even want to know what it is. I just want to go. I just want to go. You don't even know what it is. Anyways, this video will talk about that, because if you don't understand the basis of what this healthcare assistant roles or their function is, it will be very hard for you to actually build your CV, gain your experience, and which other to actually even like try to like collate your own things yourself. So you really have to understand what it entails itself. So what is healthcare assistant? In my first video that I uploaded on this channel, I talked a little about it, and the analysis I gave is healthcare assistant is like a house help job. So replace house help with health. Just replace the house with health. So that's what health help. So assuming you're a boss and then you employ somebody to do your house chores and everything for you, that is exactly what a healthcare assistant does in a hospital. The only difference is the working environment, which is the house help works in the house while the healthcare assistant works in the hospital. That is just the difference, but the function that you guys do, it is the same. So what are the basic functions of this healthcare assistant? Number one thing you should know is healthcare assistant, they are under nurses, whether BSc nurse, whether diploma nurse, whether this thing, you are working under a nurse. Do you understand it? So what are the things that you actually have to do? Because in the hospital, you cannot wash plates, you cannot bleed, you cannot do all those housey things. So what is your work? So as a healthcare assistant, you perform roles of assisting a patient. For example, a patient came to the hospital to do surgery, even appendix surgery, CS, and everything. Like, you know, maybe after the first few days of surgery, some patients might not like respond so well to treatment. They will not be able to stand up, do things on their own. So your own function is to help the patient to feed, to clean. If the patient wants to go to the washroom, you assist the patient, follow him or her to the washroom. You know, most time when you do surgery, depending on the parts, let's just say stomach surgery, the person will be bent like this, he can't stand straight. You will give them support to go to the bedroom, to use the toilet, to use the editing, depending on the ward or the department that they post you to. So if you are posted to normal adult care hospital department, maybe somebody that is sick, somebody that is just recovering, or somebody that has cannula. Yeah, cannula. You know, sometimes when you're in the hospital, they put cannula in your hand. Maybe you have to take drip for the next 3 or 5 days. They will tell you not to remove it so that they can use the same space. Sometimes your hand becomes, we call it, is it vein embolism or something? Your hands become very swollen and you can basically not do anything. So things like that, you actually just assist the patient to do a basic thing. Let me pass my this one, let me do this one. Like all those non-clinical, non-medical help. That is actually what you do in the hospital. So the only medical help or medical function, medical role you actually do as a healthcare assistant is taking vital signs. So you can take basic vital signs like temperature, blood pressure, pulse, weight, height. Is height important? No. But weight, you can actually take patients with, like a patient that is just recovering and maybe they just want to check if the person is improving or deproving or something like that. You can help them to check weight. It's all those small things that this thing. But anyways, I said depending on the department that you are and depending on the type of enthusiastic person that you are, sometimes if you feel like you are really interested in this healthcare thing, you can really be involving the nurse to make you do some of those medical things. But normal, you're not supposed to do medical stuff. But me, I'm sure telling you, just in case you find yourself like you're interested in this thing, so all those things that nurses are doing, you can just be putting high small, because when you are putting highs, it will be boosting your CV as well. So that's basically what you do with in the hospital. So you can actually even help the patient to actually tidy their bed, tidy their environment. You help them to eat, assist them in showering. Maybe the patient is feeling, today I feel like eating chicken. They'll give you money to go and buy the chicken. Today I feel like eating fried rice. Even in that same second, if they say don't to eat fried rice, it's you that will go and buy it and still come and feed the patient. So that's why I said it's almost similar to house help work. Just replace it with health work, health help. That's just like the major difference. Difference is the working environment. So now, after being known that, I'm sure that now you know the basic things, but not limited to, because you do some funny things. Because in the hospital, if the patient is all this type that are not mobile and things like maybe like adult patients that maybe they have urine incontinency or they cannot stand up to poo and they poo on the bed, who's gonna do it? My dear, you of course. It's part of your work description, but they will not tell you. But just to prepare to do things like that. You got me? Anyways, so what are the skills that are actually needed as a healthcare assistant person? So major skills that you should know, and knowing these major skills will actually help when you're actually developing your CV. So first one is like you have to be patient, you have to be calm, you have to know ability to multitask so that you can do so many things at the time, because you might be attending to 1 or 2 patients so that you not differentiate them. You know that okay, this is the one I'm changing diapers for, this is the one that requested for beans, this is the one that requested for their ability to multitask. Number one thing is patience. That patience, you have to write it in capital letter in your CV. I'm not saying you should do it, but you know what I mean. Like it's like one thing, you have to be patient, because some patients see that right, some patients can really be, you know, because of their reaction, some people are not feeling comfortable, they can really make you feel like, you know, what, like that kind of, like trying to frustrate you sort of. But then as a healthcare assistant, you just have to basara and just look at the goal and just focus on the money. Not like I'm not saying focus on the money really, but then you still have to show empathy, sympathy and everything. But I'm just saying that some patients can really be extra, trying to like make you feel, so no matter what, you don't talk back at a patient. Whatever they do, you have to hold it, you have to. So even if the patient makes any mistake, what do you think they will blame? You. Even if it is obvious, it is you. Even if anything, it is you that they will blame. So patience is one thing. You have to go to the market and go and buy. Like you have to order it maybe from AliExpress or from Amazon. Order it and have enough patience. So if you know that you cannot have patience, that small thing get to it. For example, you might actually be feeding a patient now. The patient should just vomit on you. Hey, are you gonna shout? You cannot shout. You cannot shout. You want them to suspend it. No. So things like that, you have to be accommodating. That's another skills that require accommodating. Then you have to learn how to communicate, like excellent communication, like to make a patient feel better. Not like maybe some patient might be going through for example, like all these depressed patients, all these mentally derailed patients or something like that. Sometimes they actually need somebody that will actually say soothing words to them to make them feel better, or somebody that will play with them. Some people might actually have some severe illness, some life-threatening illness. So you have to learn how to like show your face, like you actually care about them. You actually show remorse, not just like you just left your country, you just japa, and it's just the money you're after. Just that small smile on your face can actually like make them live even a year more to their distance. Some patients, they might even say, okay, they can't live past 1 year or anything. As I do say, wellness comes from within. So when you're actually administering a care for a patient and everything, and then you're putting on this smiling face, and then you're making them feel better, gisting with them, that kind of thing. Say, well, I'm gisting with you now, you're watching this video, and you've even forgotten that you want to apply for something. Like, it can really go a whole long way. And from there, the patient can really get addicted to you. Patient can really get addicted to you. And this one will take us to what is called care workers. So, for example, you're in the hospital settings, and of course you're taking care of your normal patients and everything, and then there's this particular patient that is really fond of you. In fact, if you're not on duty, they will keep asking of you. Like, it happens very well. Some patients used to like some nurses than the other. Maybe they just like the way the nurse talks to him or her and everything, and they really like you and everything. The patient can even tell his or her family member that, oh, I really like this nurse, like that they really like you. And let's just say is this type of illness that maybe they will still feel for a long period of time, or they will still need somebody to be supporting them, somebody to still be caring for them, somebody to still be there for them. Especially all this mental illness, like some people are just bored and depressed. So when they get to the hospital and they see somebody like you just still with them, making them happy, and then maybe time to discharge them, they will insist that their family members should recruit you to stay with him or her in the house. And that's when your own function comes as a care worker. So now you are no longer an healthcare assistant, you are now a care worker, because your working environment has changed from the hospital to the house. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So healthcare assistants, they actually work in the hospital, where care workers, they work in the person's residential home or residential facility or private nursing home, just something closer. While healthcare assistant works in the hospital setting, they work with NHS, they're employed by NHS, they work in hospital settings. While care homes, they work in normal care home. So that's what can warrant. And aside that, you can just apply directly. But most times when people are in the hospital and they get to see one nurse like they really vibe so well with and everything, of course they want you to be the one to like always take care of them, stay with them. And really, that's how God have just made you. And you know all these Oyinbo people. So that's one thing I would just say. In as much as you're trying to leave your country, you're trying to japa, whatever, you don't even want to care whichever, you just want to leave, taking up this work, please, you still need to show compassion to who you are treating, because they're actually paying you for it. Don't come and be doing like all these our typical Nigerian nurses or African nurses that will come and be shouting at patients. Show them. See, the funny thing is, you might actually have in mind that, okay, you're leaving your country via this healthcare assistant to do all this dirty job. You don't even know the patient that will actually even help you. You don't even know, maybe from smiling, from being friendly with a patient, then from there, they'll just, before you see, you don't even know who is rich, you don't even know who is this thing. They'll just say, do you have your CV or something like that? I'm not telling you Nollywood movie though. Different things can happen. Different things can happen. And another thing is, when you're actually nice to these patients in the hospital and they take you home, do you know how much they'll be paying you? You know that when you're working in the hospital, you have a particular number of hours, maybe 6 hours, maybe 4 times in a week or something. But once they take you home, do you know you'll be working 24/7? And it's not possible for you to work 24/7 because the patient will be sleeping for some time, and you too, you might be sleeping for some time. So it's only when the patient is awake, you'll be awake. So in a day, when you even get used to the patient, you might not even be doing so much stressful, like 2 hours or 3 hours, yet they'll be paying you 24 hours money. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say, because they can't calculate, because you're always with them. And that's something about UK, something about abroad. Time is money. So even if you call somebody to come and work for you, and then the person sit down and you're still talking, it's not concerning anybody. The person's time is going, the person's money is going. If the person, okay, I entered your house 4:55, and then if you like be talking, just like if you call a plumber in UK to come and work for you, if they like, they should even come and change one small bulb. If you take them 3 hours, you're going to pay for that 3 hours. If it took them 4 hours to change that small bulb, that's what you are going to pay for. So care workers are actually like the best bet you can actually opt for, because their work is like flexible. You just sit down at home, care for your patient, maybe make sure they take their morning dose, their afternoon medication, evening medication, and that's it. You might just sit down just today and everything, and your money is still going. They're still paying you 24/7 money. So another job that healthcare assistant does is administer medication. Well, most times it's always the work of the nurse, but sometimes you just say, okay, for example, if you're actually used to it, after food, give the patient his or her food. Remember, if you actually watched my video on verified UK homes you can actually apply to, remember there was one job we saw for healthcare assistant, that one of the job description was ability to apply medication, apply to give medication. If you watch that video, remember the job description we saw? Yes, it's part of it. So the major difference between healthcare assistants and support workers is healthcare assistants work in a hospital settings, while support workers actually work in patient residential home facility, and of course they can actually be employed by the patient's family. So they can actually be employed by the patient's family. So they actually have the same responsibility but different working environment. So that is just the major difference between them. I want to talk about pay. I've explained to you, in the hospital we are doing like 6 hours per day, or maybe 4 times a week, and that's the only time they will calculate. But as a support worker, you're always with the patient 24/7. Sometimes you are not, once you get used to your patient, at first it might be tough trying to, it will not even be tough because you guys have already know each other from the hospital. So once you guys have known each other, when the patient takes you drug, the person will sleep, and you what will you be doing? Watching TV, flexing your life. Why still earning money? Why still earning money? So when you know that, when you actually just get this healthcare assistant work, try as much as possible. Be polite to people. Be polite to your patients. Don't see them as who is this one, as if they are trying to frustrate. Be polite, because you don't even know anyone that will like it. So just make sure that you're a likable person. When they call you friend, just smile. Smile. You say, this Nigerian girl, this Tanzanian boy, this Ghanaian guy, I want him. I want him to follow me. From there, God is already making your life very, very easy. Simple and easy for you. Imagine paying you £12 per hour for hospital work, just like that one we saw in the video I made. £12 per hour for hospital work, 6 hours, 12 times 6, how much is it? Then imagine the family requitting you to their house. 24 hours, 24 times 12, how much is this? You are not paying for rent, you are not paying for accommodation, you are not paying for food. Are you understanding what I'm trying to analyze? You're not paying for food, you're not paying for rent, you're not paying light bills, you're not paying anything. Just like a nanny work in Nigeria, you're not paying for anything, you're just earning your money. Of course, you pay tax. Whereas your counterpart working in healthcare in the hospital, they will have to get an apartment, they have to pay for what they will eat, they have bills on their head, and you are not even spending money for transport. If they like you that much, you can even use your madam's car or your boss's car. And that's one thing I said about, you see these Oyinbo people, these white people, they don't have stress. Once they just say that you're a good person, the way they will like you and treat you as if. So when you get there, just behave like you're a good person. And if you like, go and show your African side, go and scam them, they will deport you back to Nigeria or whichever country that you are. So what are the ways you can actually get this healthcare assistant in your different home country? You have a family doctor, yes or no? You don't have. You have a family nurse, yes or no? You don't have. What of a family pharmacist? You have or not? You have or you don't have? You don't have. Okay. How old are you now? I'm sure the list here will be 18, not even 18, 20, 23. Okay. In your 23 years of life, or let's even say in your 20 years of life, when you were staying with your parents or your foster parents or anybody you grew up with, anytime you are sick or you are exhibiting a symptom, who do they call? They call one auntie nurse, they call one doctor, or they call one medical person. Yes or yes? Yes. That is exactly where to get your healthcare assistant experience from. For me, growing up, we had a family doctor and we had like an auntie nurse. So if the symptoms is not that serious, maybe like malaria and this, my mom would just go, hey, auntie nurse or omoyin shaking like that. Let me do it in English because everybody is not from Nigeria. Then when it's really severe, like maybe when I had surgery, we'll call doctor, we'll go to the hospital. So that is when you have your experience. It's not always like that. So why I asked that first question is, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister that has a friend that is a friend to a doctor, a nurse, a pharmacy, even in pharmacies, you can actually still work under them, but I'll tell you why it's not really advisable. So a doctor or a nurse that you know, tell your mom, your dad, your brother or sister, or you yourself, call them. Tell them you need an healthcare assistant experience. Most times, they will not understand what is this one saying. It's English because it's UK term. They will not understand what you're saying. Just say you want to work in the hospital setting for a number of time. So, according to UK, the requirement for this healthcare assistant experience is 300 hours. So 300 hours divided by 24 hours, 24, that's almost like, that's almost like 12.5 or something, yeah. So that's almost like 14 weeks. Sorry, 14 days. 14 days, that's if you do 24 hours for 14 days, but it is not possible. So you can actually split it to any duration that is convenient for you. So call her, tell her you want to do, or you just want to work under her. If you might not even work under her, just like you just want to be in the hospital settings. So let's now say you don't have any auntie nurse or auntie doctor, or maybe you have, but you don't want your family or your people to know that you have plans of traveling. You understand? Sometimes you might want to hide it. You don't want anybody to know. Then you now look for a very good hospital that has cases. Of course, you can go to a private hospital, you can go to a government hospital, but I'll tell you the best. Anyone, you can just go there, go and meet the doctor. You want to do experience. You might not tell him it's from abroad because, especially in Nigeria, if it's all these frustrated doctors that they've been trying to travel and it did not work, they might not. But you can still tell them, you can still tell them. Like when you are even in a setting, you just use your common sense, you just use your initiative. Should I talk or not? Should I just use this way? Even if you did not tell them, and they will even want to give you a letter to show that you did it, don't worry, keep watching sharp. So you might just get there and say, I'm applying for a UK work and I need the experience as an healthcare assistant and blah blah blah. Okay, like that. Or I'm trying to get a job in Nigeria, in your home country. You can say it's a petroleum job. You can say they are trying to open an hospital near somewhere. Just look for any lie. We're all Africans, or I don't know, Asia is different, maybe they don't have juju. Just look for one suitable lie that when you lie to yourself, you're like, it makes sense. You taste the lie first before you lie it out. Because it is not, I'm talking like in Nigeria, it is not all Nigerian doctors that were happy for you. I remember the day I wanted to go and do my medical test in Abuja, and was it National Hospital for my Russia. They said that's the only place I should do it. The day I went there, that's when I know say Nigerians they beef. Like, guys, if you are somewhere from Nigeria or Africa, it's better you just cover the truth from them. Just look for a lie. Maybe you actually need it for an organization, like they are setting up a business, or maybe you want to set up your own business, or you need the certificate for. Just think of something else aside traveling out. Don't give them the OT you are traveling out, because number one, once you allow them to know you are traveling out, they are gonna bill you. They can tell you to go and be 1 millionaire. They will bill you. You might even tell them that you just want to do it, like you've just been at home doing nothing. Like, another lie is that you're thinking of changing course to maybe nursing or something, but then you just feel like you should work in the hospital settings for some time. If you feel like if it's something you like, that's a perfect lie. So you just feel like it's like things are really changing, that you feel like you are thinking of going back to school of nursing or something, to be a nurse, but you want to know how the hospital settings work. Just like if it's something you can really do, or something that you want to be working under the nurse or something for a period of 3 hours or something. Just look for one lie. So after lying the lie, just know that any lie that you lie, it has to come out with a certificate to show that you worked in the hospital. Because after you finish your 300 hours in the hospital, the doctor has to write a letter headed that you, Mr. or Mrs. Kodlegbege, was in the hospital giving care, this one, that one, on this thing. You just write to whom it may concern. So just imagine you actually lied to the MD, to the nurse, or to the person you actually wanted to do the hospital practice from, that you want to see if it is a part you can actually pass through. How is it something I've forgotten? Okay. So after saying that lie, and you actually want to collect your letter, certificate of proof letter that has letter headed, right? Which lie will you lie for him to collect that one? You can tell him that you need that letter headed to quit your present work. So if he asks you who to address it to, tell him to address it to whom it may concern. Don't address it to UK Embassy. There's a reason for to whom it may concern. Let him just write the hospital letter headed. Then at the rise, to whom it may concern, comma. This is to certify that Mr. did a 300 hour here. So if he asks you why do you need the certificate for your workplace, you explain to him that because of the amount of money they've maybe deducted from your money for your pension or something, or maybe you might actually say maybe you actually signed like a contract with them, or maybe they will not want to release you easily, just to convince your madam to actually release you or something. Or another thing you can say is so that you'll be able to go for that school of nursing, like maybe you can be doing like a part-time work. What I'm trying to say is you can tell the doctor, if he asks you, so why are you collecting this letter of evidence, you can actually tell him because you don't want to quit your work finally, your permanent work that you had before coming to the hospital. You don't want to quit it finally, so you just want to be doing it part-time because you are the one sponsoring yourself. So this one will actually help you to convince your madam, something like that. When you get to the setting, please, we are Africans, you should not have to have sharp lie. I've told you the basis. Don't let me use the lie that I would lie for myself and come and cast each other. Just do something like that. So that is actually how you can get hospital practice in your home country. But if you actually know that the nurse you know, the doctor you know, they are free-minded people, they don't care about who is traveling out or not, so you can tell them directly. But if you tell them, they will charge you a whole lot of money because they know that you're traveling out to make a whole lot of money from there. They will charge you. So it's better you lie. So even when you lie, they will still charge you, of course. So you can pay maybe 10k, 20k. Even when they say you pay them, you say, that maybe it's just trying things that it's supposed to pay, that it's just to come and see if it's something you can do. That kind of thing. 10k, 5k. That is, and it's just 3 weeks. But just make sure that your 3 hours is complete. Or another thing you can say is you have, if you're a boy, you can say you have a a girlfriend outside the country, or you have a sister, or you have this thing that the person is trying to sponsor you for school, and he or she insisted that you should actually have 300 hours of nursing experience, that is another lie that you can't lie. Then if he asks you, how should they address the letter to him whom it will concern, you'll be like, you don't answer him or something. Another lie that you can lie is you want to apply for a scholarship, a nursing scholarship in Nigeria. He can ask you where. You can say in Ghana. So if you're in Nigeria, you can say you want to apply for a nursing scholarship in Ghana. If you're in Ghana, you can say you want to apply for a nursing scholarship in Nigeria. If you're in Nigeria, you can say you want to apply for a nursing scholarship in Cameroon. Just make sure you don't give him a very big country, because they're gonna charge you. So the requirement, so you not think that the requirement that they require is at least to have a 300 hours nursing experience for you to apply. There is scholarship, you don't have the money. Don't say Europe. If you say Europe, you have money. Don't say this thing, no. Just be diplomatic. You can even say Cameroon. You can even say India. India is the one. Like, just be deep. Just say something. I don't know. I'm not saying you should lie, but just study the environment, know the type of people that are there and everything. So as I said, would you choose a private hospital or a public hospital? For me, I would prefer you choose a government hospital, because you have so many wards to work in with, and it will actually boost your CV. So it will actually boost your CV. So in your 300 hours of working experience, you can have 50 in general ward, 50 in emergency ward, 50 in which other word is there? Neonatal ward, 50 in mental health ward. Like, they have different departments in the hospital. So when you're actually applying for your CV, when you're actually trying to build your CV, like, it will actually have more bulk, more weight than somebody that did all her 300 hours in general ward. That's why that did all her 300 hours in neonatal ward. So that means with your CV, you can apply to different jobs. You can apply for mental health, you can apply for first aid, any job relating to first aid, because you were in the emergency department. You can apply to anything. So just try and be versatile. And you can still even go to a private hospital that has big distance, but just in case they want to confirm it, I actually prefer government. And government, everybody's plenty. Another thing why I like government is because you'll be able to do things, because they have a lot of patients there. You'll be able to like lay your hand on something and do things. Private too, you can actually do things. So just depending on your country, depending on your area, depending on your environment. So just look for one nurse. Just give them that big lie. And when they're writing the letter, please, I'm not telling you to go and learn. You can actually learn under a nurse that actually have a facility, but you're working under a nurse does not mean it's actually a nurse that will give you a letter. It's a doctor that will give you a letter that will make you certified. But a nurse can give you, but it's better a doctor actually gives you. You can still do it under a nurse. You can still do it under a doctor. So guys, I hope with this viewpoint of mine, I've been able to like show you another route where you can actually have this healthcare assistant in your own country. So when you're actually doing this, make sure all these functions that I said about, I covered, you actually do. So sometimes if you're a busy type, you can maybe during Saturday and Sunday, you can go to the hospital for 2 hours, for 3 hours, for 4 hours. If you know you don't really have anything doing, you can do 9 to 5, 8 to 5. Shall make sure that your 300 hours is complete. I can even have more than that. Everything has CV boost. And even as you're doing it in the hospital, you can still be doing your online certificate. There is no limitation. You keep building your CV. You keep building it. So it will make you have a bigger head. So whether you are bachelor's, you are master's, you are certificate, you are this, you are everything. Experience. Another thing is looking for nursing homes in Nigeria. I know most of you do know that there is nursing homes in Nigeria. There are a whole lot of nursing homes in Nigeria. So you can actually check Google and just check nursing homes in your home country, nursing homes in Ghana, nursing homes in Cameroon, so that you can just go there and still do these things. So that's really another one too. You can just visit any of these nursing homes and just do the 300 hours there. So far, I hope with this 3 point of mine, I've been able to like burst another bubbles of any doubts you've had about how to go about this experience thing. So guys, if you like this video, make sure to click the subscribe button, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Don't forget to share with your families and friends. Don't be stingy. Nobody will travel or that kind of thing. Yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.